All right, Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking, and welcome back. So, again, things just go deeper and deeper and bring me to more of a realization. Ah, and more things to work on. It shows you more things to work on, on your, excuse me, on yourself. And, the current situations, like, I don't know, the word, like I said, this is a living word. It's a living word, and that's just what it is. So, I was sitting here and I just read the first verse here in the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3. So again, we know Solomon was a woman, right? So if Solomon lost his wisdom, this is meaning that Solomon is losing his woman. And it's saying in here that if they did not want to worship this God, that they're going to have a false God. So I think that we're definitely talking about a goddess. I think we're talking about I definitely think that this is what we're talking about. We're giving this energy right now, okay? Because again, it's about it. And regardless if it's a male energy, we're talking about a divine, feminine energy, even if we're dealing with a male, right? So, I mean, and this would be again, if we think about Solomon having all them wives, I guess this will be a lover of the divine feminine or feminine aspect in nature. Ooh. So again, if he's searching around and he's finding all these wives, right? But then I'm guessing then also that would have something to do maybe with the choices of being the Queen of Sheba. And then I feel like I see like the confusion when we're talking about Makeda and Sheba. One is the one and one is the idol. One is the idol that was chosen because of worldly ways and worldly things. And then Sheba, okay, which was the choices, I would feel, again, would embody that whole same aspect of cherishing nature and wisdom overall, right? So it's like the thing about gaining the world but losing your soul or something like that. Which also brings me back to the world card, because again, I think I'm going to do something else that has to do with the world card that I thought was kind of interesting about the two sticks that the girl is holding. And then there was something that I found about the two sticks, one for Judah and one for Joseph, I think. I don't know. I can't remember. But again, I'm going to do that one after this one because this is the final thing that I'm doing on Solomon right now today. And then we're going to go ahead and go back into, we're going to do a quick, these are going to be brief, I'm hoping, when it comes to this one. And then the world card, going back, looking at the world card again, because again, the Torah is talking about the Torah, Ezekiel's will is the will. And so again, it's funny when I'm starting to read these things, how I'm starting to find other cards that we're talking about and referring to in the biblical text. And it's funny how people are trying to, again, when we see like the commercial that comes on Pandora, if you listen, or that's talking about the witches, they must be hunted down and killed and stuff like that. So again, we're in a zone where we are tapped in and we are trying to bring awareness to these particular things at this time. Because I feel like there are going to be a group of people that are going to be using their gifts for good and for grand rising. And then there's going to be people that are going to be using their gifts in a darker way to hinder those people that are on that journey, to try to defile these women that God has chosen for himself or herself, right? To guide and move through what would be, let's just read it. Okay. So it says chapter 3, the godly are happy in their death. Okay. So again, I don't know who put them in death. I would imagine that if we're dealing with a false god and we're actually dealing with Satan, I would think that Satan would be the one that put them there, which is why we're saying, get below me, Satan. Since you want to put a pit down below to put people in, then you yourself can get into that pit. So it says the godly are happy in their death, and in their troubles. The wicked are not, nor the children. Okay? But they are pure, are happy, though they have no children. For the adulterer and his seed shall perish. I would say the adulterer and his or her seed shall perish. And again, adultery to me has something to do with just being, let's see, we'll just go right to it. Commit adultery, make impure, 15th century, late 14th century, pollute, to corrupt. Okay? And again, it's in a person, 14th century, a person, usually a man, guilty of adultery. Wow. And again, we could be saying a man in a male form, like in a sense of male form, right? Doing these ways, because I think that in this world, in different dimensions, there is a way for man to try to access that which is God's chosen in order to try to defile and corrupt it in a spiritual way. Again, this is spiritual warfare. Okay, so although they may not be doing things to you right in front of your sight and your conscious awareness, they may be dabbling with your subconscious, or even when you are talking, I don't want to say realm sleep or REM sleep. I want to say like in your dreams. We'll just put it like that in layman's terms. Okay. So again, someone doing adulteration is a state of being, these are related terms, debased, almost thinking D-man, by mixture with something else. So again, yeah, okay. All right. So again, mixing with something else. So again, in an adulterous way, I'm feeling like dabbling with that is not pure. Dabbling with that which is not the original. Idolatry. Substitution says adulteress. Substitution for earlier arbitratress. Noun hold on. Agent noun from commit adultery. Okay. Let's see. Active state of being debased, a mixture with something else. Okay, so yeah, mixing and dabbling with something else, I guess. You know, and I think this is a difficult one even for me to deal with, you know, because again, it seems like, you know, corrupt or falsify, to alter. Okay. So again, for me, it feels like even dealing with this whole thing when it comes to the spiritual unions, right? That it's a confusing thing because we have been misled by church, right? So we really don't know what to expect in these times. And it's just like being someone who is already in certain attachments in your life, and then learning what is it that Satan would want you to give up on and move away from, right? To move closer to him, or would it be, you know, in God's nature to want someone to move away from things that don't benefit into the light of something else? And so again, just realizing that, again, we are in a times when you may have to make some certain moves, and us knowing not knowing exactly how to operate or how source is going to operate in this time may make you feel like the things that you're doing that you thought were so right all this time may not be the right in the eyes of source. You see? So just even dealing with that about being connected to certain people, and then dealing with the different frequency and the different nature of things that are not so tangible, you know, when it comes to courtship and relationships and these mysterious things that, you know, transpired, or I feel like are transpiring at this time. So it's again, like, you would look at this like, what? This is what, you know, source want me to do? Source want me to abandon this or move away from that? Like, that don't sound like, why would he do that? But then you think like, dang, okay, so if I do this, but ain't that a sin?